Book of Heaven, Volume 20, February 6, 1927. Wherever the divine will is present, there is everything. Nothing can escape it. How one who possesses it lives in the communion of goods of her Creator. Love and happiness she receives, love and happiness she gives. I was all immersed in the supreme volition, following its acts in order to constitute my self-act of each creature. And my sweet Jesus came out from within my interior, and stretching out his arms to me, he embraced me tightly, clasping me all to himself. Now, while Jesus was embracing me, all created things, the heavens, the sun, the sea, all of them, even the tiny little bird, placing themselves around Jesus, they all embraced me, wanting to repeat his act. They were as though competing among themselves. None of them wanted to be left behind. I remained confused in seeing that the whole creation was running toward me to embrace me. And Jesus told me,
"My daughter, when the soul lives in my will and I do one act toward her, even a simple kiss, one little word, all creation, beginning with the sovereign queen, even to the least of the littlest being, they all put themselves in motion to repeat my act. In fact, since one is the will of the soul, mine and their own, all have the right to associate themselves with me, to do the same thing I do. Therefore, it was not me alone, but all beings in which my will exists as whole, were together with me in embracing you. So, whenever I do one more act with one who lives in my will, I give a new feast to the whole creation. And whenever there is a new feast, all move and stand at attention when I am about to give you a gift or tell you a word, so as to concur together with me, repeat my act, receive the new feast, and make for you the feast of their acts. Was it not a feast for you to feel the embrace of the celestial Mama, the embrace of the light of the sun, of the waves of the sea, and even of the tiny little bird that stretched out its wings to embrace you? My daughter, wherever my will is present, there is everything. Not one thing can escape it."
Then I continued to follow its acts in the supreme volition, and my sweet Jesus added,
"My daughter, for one who possesses my will, it is as if she had the sun centered within herself, but not the sun that can be seen up there in the heavens, rather the divine sun, that very sun which is centered in God. Extending its rays, it centers itself in the soul, and so she is the owner of the light, because she possesses within herself the life of the light, and all the goods and effects which it contains. Therefore, she enjoys the communion of goods of her Creator. Everything is in common with one who possesses my will. Common is the love, common is the sanctity, common is the light. Everything is in common with her. Even more, since her Creator looks at her as a birth from his divine will, she is already his daughter, so he enjoys, loves, and wants that his goods be in common with her. And if this could not be, he would suffer as a father would suffer, who, being immensely rich, finds himself in the impossibility of giving his goods to his true and faithful children, and so, unable to give what he possesses, he is forced to see them poor. This father, in the midst of the opulence of his riches, would die of sorrow, poisoned in his own bitternesses, because the joy of a father is to give and to make his children happy of his own happiness. If a terrestrial father who were unable to place his goods in common with his children can suffer so much, to the point of dying of sorrow, much more would the eternal Creator suffer, more than most tender father, if he could not place his goods in common with one who possesses the divine fiat, who, being his daughter, has her rights to possess the communion of goods of her Father. And if it were not so, it would clash with that love which knows no limits, and with that goodness more than paternal, which is the continuous triumph of all our works. Therefore, as the soul comes to possess the supreme fiat, the first act of God is to place his goods in common with her, and centering his sun in her, through the current of its light, he makes his goods descend into the depth of the soul. And she takes whatever she wants, and through that same current of the light which she possesses, She makes them ascend again to her Creator as the greatest homage of love and of gratitude. And that same current makes them descend into her once again. So these goods ascend and descend continuously as the certainty and the seal of the communion that exists between Creator and creature. Such was the state of Adam when he was created, until he sinned. What was ours was his. The fullness of light centered in him, because his will was one with ours, brought him the communion of our goods. How we felt our happiness redoubled on the part of creation. For nothing else but because we saw Adam, our son, happy of our own happiness. In fact, since his will was one with ours, our will could pour our goods and our happiness in torrents upon him, so much so that, unable to contain it all, because he did not have the capacity of his Creator, while being filled to the brim to the point of overflowing, he would make all the rest ascend again to the one from whom he had received it. And what did he make ascend? His perfect love, which he had received from God, his sanctity, his glory, which he possessed in common with us, to give us as though tit for tat of happiness, of love, of glory. Happiness we gave, happiness he gave to us. Love, sanctity, and glory we gave him. Love, sanctity, and glory he gave to us. My daughter, to possess a divine will is something astounding. The human nature cannot comprehend everything. It feels, it possesses, and knows not how to express.
Thank you for being a part of our community here at Divine Will app. If you enjoy listening to Jesus' lessons on how to live in the divine will, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more souls yearning to live in the kingdom of the divine will. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections, so drop a comment below. Your insights not only enrich our community, but also inspire others on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining us, you're helping to spread the news of the kingdom of the divine will, so that together we can bring his kingdom to reign on earth as it is in heaven. In the divine will, always.